Prepare for a wild cinematic journey. We're about to explore 27 movie sequels that utterly disappointed, failing to match the original's glory. In a recent survey, the internet was posed with this question: which movies should have been left alone? And now, we present you the top 27 responses. Hold on tight. Tremors 3, Back to Perfection, 2001, a film that received mixed reviews. Some say the first 3 were good, but with 7 installments, things got out of hand. Critics pointed out that the changes in the Shrieker's appearance made them appear even more foolish. The 4th film was bearable, but it seemed the franchise had gone too far. In a review of Independence Day, 1996, sequel, critics were disappointed, lamenting that it lacked the dark humor of the original. The bus scene fighting the boss was criticized. Fans expressed that they might have reconsidered if Will Smith had returned. George of the Jungle, 1997, a comedy classic. Fans claim the first one is untouchable, praising hilarious moments and laughs like, "Were you arguing with the narrator?" But sadly, the sequel lacks Brendan Fraser and Leslie Mann, leaving viewers disappointed. Highlander, 1986 sequel critics can't ignore. A rare case of the second film making the original weaker. Fans love how the 3rd installment completely disregards its predecessor. More insights on the production backstory desired. In a surprising turn of events, the film Speed 2, set on a cruise ship, is found to be much slower than its predecessor. With a maximum speed of just over 30 miles per hour and an average of only 20 miles per hour, it seems the title, Speed 2, Much Slower, would have been more appropriate. This ironic twist raises questions about future sequels and the potential for even slower forms of transportation. Today, we delve into the jaw-dropping history of the renowned movie, Jaws. While the original film was hailed as a flawed yet splendid masterpiece, its sequels were deemed regrettable trash. Even acclaimed actor Michael Caine hilariously admitted his ignorance towards Jaws 4's quality, acknowledging the incredible rewards it reaped. Let's ponder the sincerity behind such candor. The 1996 film Space Jam is being questioned by some critics. They believe choosing a different sport would have made it more successful. People are debating whether the second movie was truly worse or if nostalgia clouded their judgment. In a hilarious twist of events, fans of the iconic film, Dumb and Dumber, are expressing their disappointment with its sequel. Titled Dumb and Dumberer, the follow-up film didn't quite live up to its predecessor's wit and charm. Fans, relieved to see the original acknowledged, are collectively sharing their thoughts. In a recent review, the movie, Taken, and its sequels were critiqued. Although the first film was praised for its originality and pacing, the subsequent installments received less favorable comments. One reviewer felt that the lead actor, Liam Neeson, struggled to match the fast-paced editing in the third movie. Furthermore, the article suggests that these films serve as a reminder to be cautious in life, as the plot revolves around human trafficking. Overall, the opinion expressed is that the series should have stopped after the successful first film. In today's entertainment news, we bring you a scathing review of the sequel to the iconic film, The Mask, 1994. According to critics, this follow-up lacks the vibrant energy of its predecessor, failing miserably in its attempt to replicate the magic. Described as a complete abomination and an insult to the original, it certainly seems like this sequel missed the mark. Stay tuned for more updates on your favorite movies. Critics and fans alike are in agreement about Mean Girls 2, with many expressing their disappointment. Described as a pale imitation of the original, viewers claim it lacks the essence that made the first film a hit. Overall, it seems that this unnecessary sequel should be skipped. In The Blues Brothers, 1980, the sequel aims to break a record by destroying one more car than the original. While the soundtrack is fantastic, the movie itself falls short. However, some see it as a fitting tribute rather than a true sequel. The 2001 film, Donnie Darko, is praised by many viewers, who believe it doesn't need a sequel. They refuse to watch it and are relieved that others feel the same way. The unexpected sequel to American Psycho, featuring Mila Kunis, is now out. But don't get too excited as it's a complete letdown. This film has little relation to the original, with a different style and is deemed terrible by many. In fact, it was so bad that it was released straight to VHS. The 1999 film Boondock Saints was praised for its self-awareness and entertaining nature. However, its sequel seemed to lack originality and purpose, merely attempting to capitalize on the first film's success. Critics found the addition of a character imitating Rocco unnecessary and illogical. Interestingly, some viewers admitted to enjoying the second movie only when intoxicated. But here's the exciting news: a third installment is currently in the works. In 1994, the iconic film, The Crow, was a hit among fans, based on an equally popular comic. However, its sequel didn't live up to expectations. Despite interesting stories in the comic's sequels, the movie's follow-up was deemed terrible. Yet, there was one redeeming quality: the epic soundtrack. DreamWorks, a notoriously inconsistent studio, has received criticism for their film, The Boss Baby, 2017. Critics argue that it did not live up to the studio's potential, calling it the worst thing they've ever seen. While DreamWorks has created acclaimed masterpieces, they have also produced disappointing films like Boss Baby. The 1993 hit Jurassic Park has spawned 5 sequels and a series, but some argue that it was unnecessary. While dinosaurs are undeniably cool, the constant cycle of danger and then safety has become predictable. Are we truly safe from these prehistoric creatures, or is there more to come? Stay tuned for more updates. Rachel Weisz's absence from the third movie of the Mummy franchise should have hinted at its unnecessary creation. Originally intended as an Indiana Jones-like adventure, the sequels failed to match the first installment's quality. In fact, the second film and all subsequent sequels were deemed unnecessary. Coming up, we take a closer look at the Terminator movie franchise. According to critics, every installment that followed Terminator 2 was deemed unnecessary. While the first 2 films brought a unique blend of action and horror, subsequent movies failed to live up to their standards. It seems that the Terminator series peaked early and has been disappointing ever since. Stay tuned for more details on this cinematic letdown. In a news update, there's mixed reactions to the 2009 film Paul Blart, Mall Cop and its sequel. While the first movie was described as corny but funny, opinions on the second installment are much less favorable, with many considering it to be absolute trash. The absence of a beloved character and a new setting at a security guard convention seem to have disappointed fans. Wreck-It Ralph, 2012, slammed its sequel, calling it a commercial rather than a standalone story. The movie became outdated as it referenced internet culture that had already evolved. Confusion arose as the trailers mostly focused on the princesses, leaving viewers clueless about the movie's actual plot. Audiences are voicing their disappointment over the sequel/remake of Mulan, 1998. Many believe the original was fantastic on its own and the new installment doesn't live up to expectations. Some even feel that the creators themselves were aware of the poor execution. Overall, viewers are left unimpressed and some couldn't even bring themselves to finish the second installment. Fans of the 1982 animated film, The Secret of NIMH, were surprised to discover a sequel existed. Although the original movie was beloved by many, opinions on the sequel, titled The Secret of OSHA, were less favorable. Nevertheless, the first film remains a cherished childhood memory for countless viewers. Beverly Hills Chihuahua, 2008, faced actor changes due to a poorly written script. A sign of the times, it reflects media trends in the 2000s. Confusing for viewers, but a glimpse into the industry's challenges. Hotel Transylvania, 2012, mixed reviews on the sequels. Critics and fans agreed that the first film was great, but the second and third disappointed. The fourth installment had untapped potential. Some viewers felt uneasy seeing Mavis pregnant in the second film. Overall, mixed opinions on this animated series. Upcoming Joker sequel praised as a standalone film. Excitement builds as reports suggest it could become a musical starring Lady Gaga. However, concerns arise that the sequel may overshadow the entire series of movies. Will it be a hit or miss for DC? Today, we bring you some fascinating news from the world of cinema. We've discovered a list of 24 incredible movies that almost met their demise due to their terrible titles. While these films may have been true masterpieces, their lackluster titles threaten to overshadow their brilliance. Stay tuned as we reveal which movies narrowly escaped this unfortunate fate. In breaking entertainment news, we have compiled a fascinating list of 25 actors who delivered such exceptional performances that nobody else can ever match up to them. These talented individuals have truly left an indelible mark on their roles, making their names synonymous with these iconic characters. Stay tuned for this extraordinary lineup. 40 movies that received negative reviews from critics, but were actually beloved by audiences. These films prove that critics don't always get it right when it comes to recommending movies. 15 movies featuring female characters were recently identified as being clearly written by men. An internet poll asked which movies lack any involvement from women. Stay tuned as we reveal more about these films and the portrayal of women in them. Today we bring you a list of 25 modern films that have made a mark in the industry and should be considered classics. These movies, loved by audiences worldwide, have left a lasting impression with their groundbreaking narratives, captivating visuals, and unforgettable acting. From the 80s and 90s classics to these new masterpieces, these films have proven themselves to be timeless works of art. 176 characters.